Warm greetings to all. This is Anuradha. In this video, I'll be discussing about a short story titled The Errors of Santa Claus and also its themes. The story satirizes the modern practice of gift giving during Christmas. The practice of gifting is a replaying of the visit of the Magi to the child Jesus in the manger where he was born. The gifts of incense, myrrh, and gold signify their declaration of faith in Jesus as King and Lord. The gifts were a symbol of the royal status accorded to Jesus. Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus, as he is popularly known, used to leave necessities like food, clothes, and money for the poor. The two practices combine to make the season of Christmas a time to share one's wealth with those who need it and spread cheer everywhere. The joy of giving is the spirit of Christmas. The giving, however, should be from what one has to be given to one who is in need of it. In other words, charity. Therefore, Christmas ideally should be a time of introspection, thanksgiving, sharing, and deriving joy in the company of family and friends. Modern times have seen a drastic change in the way Christmas is celebrated. Gift giving has become fashionable rather than relevant. Crass commercialization of this practice by business houses has made it a time for spending wealth rather than sharing it. Commercial establishments encourage the sale of commodities, consumer durables, and food items. Items are packed attractively and set up in shop windows to lure shoppers. The season of Christmas has become the season of shopping. Children are the most affected by this phenomenon. They no longer look forward to sharing their possessions but demand gifts and toys for themselves. Parents too encourage this consumerist behavior in children by indulging their demands. The title of the story is ironical because the author has transposed the errors onto a non existent entity. The characters in the story have bought gifts for each other and derive joy in having done right. The humor in the story arises when the gift they have bought for others are ones they enjoy the most. So while Santa Claus placed the gifts in the relevant stockings in the night, the next day the gifts return to whoever sought the most joy in using it. To that extent, the spirit of Christmas has been achieved. Up next is themes. The first one is the joy of giving. The act of exchanging gifts makes the giver and the receiver happy. The Browns and the Jones are well to do families that can afford expensive gifts for their family members. Even the children are given enough money to pick up expensive gifts for their parents. They even open the gifts they have bought for the neighbors to see and appreciate their effort. The irony is that they have each bought gifts for their families and not for their friends. The act of showing the gift is to brag about the amount of money they have willingly spent on their family members. The act of buying the gifts does away with the notion of charity and sharing. The expensive involved robes of act of sympathy, kindness. The practice of giving family members gifts turns the idea of sharing one's wealth with those who need it on its head. The next theme is the spirit of Christmas. Along with the joy of giving, what brings Christmas cheer is the time spent with family and friends. It is time to think of one's blessings, to be thankful for the gifts received, and to pray for the health and well being of everybody. In the story, the two families come together only to eat. Then they break into groups where they brag about the gifts they have bought for their families, extolling the fine qualities of the gifts they have purchased. They do not wait to hand over the gifts but open it themselves and begin to use it, forgetting themselves in the thrill of the new purchases. There is no introspection or thankfulness expressed. The joy, the experience is selfish in opening up the gifts they have bought and using it themselves. And the last of the theme is misconceptions. The humor in the story is in the misconceptions the characters harbor about each other. The parents have bought toys and dolls for their children, believing that they are innocent enough to take delight in playing with trains, aeroplanes, and dolls. The children, believing that their parents were grown up and would like grown up gifts, pick up expensive cigars, cigarettes, and card sets. They seem to have forgotten a simple facade of human nature: yonder grass is always green. Children wish they were grown up and imitate adult habits, while adults who yearn for their childhood relish anything that is childish. Hence, the inordinate pleasure with which the Brown and Jones men and women play with the train and the toys, and the Brown and Jones kids smoke cigars and gamble with cards. The grandfather, left alone in his room, relishes the gifts he has bought for his son and grandson in solitary pleasure. Hope this video is useful to you. Thank you all for listening. Now it's time to bid my adieu. Thank you.